Let's explore the best practices for React development. These are essential conventions and patterns for writing clean, maintainable, and scalable React applications. Let's get started. Here's how to create a clean architecture for your React components. On the left is an example of a functional component structure. Notice how it uses descriptive variable names. On the right are some key principles. First, single responsibility, which means each component should have one job. Second, descriptive naming, which means components and variables should have descriptive names. Third, proper props destructuring, which means extracting the values you need directly from the props object. Fourth, component composition, which means building complex user interfaces by combining smaller, reusable components. Let's see how we can validate props using TypeScript. On the left is the code snippet, which shows a TypeScript interface. The interface defines the types of props a component should receive. On the right are the benefits of using TypeScript. First, compile time error checking, which means errors are caught during development. Second, IntelliSense and autocomplete, which means code editors provide suggestions. Third, type safety, which means reduces runtime errors. Fourth, self-documenting code, which means type service documentation. Fifth, better refactoring, which means easier to make changes with confidence. Let's see state management using the useState and useReducer patterns. On the left is an example of complex state management with useReducer. The useReducer hook is used to manage more complex state logic. On the right are the state guidelines. First, keep state minimal and flat, which means avoid nested state objects. Second, use useState for simple state, which means basic values or single pieces of data. Third, use useReducer for complex logic, which means when you have multiple related states or complex state transitions. Fourth, avoid deep object mutations, which means always create new objects instead of modifying existing ones. Fifth, lift state up when needed, which means share state between components by moving it to a common ancestor. Let's explore the useEffect patterns for managing side effects. On the left is an example of using useEffect with cleanup. A cleanup function is used to clear the interval when the component unmounts. On the right are the best practices. First, always include dependencies, which means specify all variables the effect uses. Second, clean up subscriptions, which means clear timers, event listeners to prevent memory leaks. Third, separate concerns into multiple effects, which means each effect should do one thing. Fourth, avoid infinite re-renders, which means be careful with dependencies that can cause infinite loops. Fifth, use custom hooks for reusability, which means extract effect logic into custom hooks. Let's discuss custom hooks for reusable logic. On the left is an example of a custom hook, useFetch, which encapsulates the logic for fetching data. On the right are the benefits of using custom hooks. First, code reusability, which means write logic once and use it in multiple components. Second, logic separation, which means keep components focused on rendering. Third, easier testing, which means isolate logic for easier unit tests. Fourth, encapsulation, which means hide complex implementation details. Fifth, team collaboration, which means share and reuse hooks across the team. Let's dive into performance optimization using React.memo and useMemo. On the left is an example of memoization. React.memo prevents re-renders if the props haven't changed. useMemo is used to memoize the result of a calculation. On the right are some optimization techniques. First, React.memo for expensive renders, which means wrap components that re-render unnecessarily. Second, useMemo for heavy calculations, which means avoid recalculations on every render. Third, use callback for stable references, which means prevent unnecessary effect triggers. Fourth, code splitting with lazy loading, which means load components only when needed. Fifth, profile before optimizing, which means measure performance before applying optimizations. Let's see the error handling strategies using error boundaries and try-catch. On the left is an example of an error boundary class. Error boundaries catch errors during rendering. On the right are error strategies. First, use error boundaries, which means wrap components that might fail. Second, graceful fallback user interface, which means display a user-friendly message when errors occur. Third, log errors for debugging, which means record error details for later analysis. Fourth, retry mechanisms, which means attempt to recover from errors. Fifth, user-friendly error messages, which means provide helpful information to users. Let's explore the code organization, project structure, and naming conventions. On the left is an example of a folder structure. It shows how to organize your project files. On the right are the organization principles. First, feature-based folder structure, which means group files by feature. Second, consistent naming conventions, which means use the same naming style across the project. Third, separate concerns clearly, which means keep components, hooks, and utilities in separate folders. Fourth, barrel exports for cleaner imports, which means create index files to export multiple modules. Fifth, co-locate related files, which means keep related files in the same directory. Let's summarize the core practices for React development. On the left are core practices. First, component composition over inheritance. Second, TypeScript for type safety. Third, custom hooks for reusable logic. Fourth, clean project structure. On the right are performance and quality practices. First, memoization when appropriate. Second, proper error boundaries. Third, effect cleanup and dependencies. Fourth, consistent naming conventions. Always aim to write code that is readable, maintainable, and scalable. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.